I think where I first fell in love with eucalyptus was a trip out to Northern California, out to the Lake Tahoe region. I saw these just glorious trees with exfoliating bark, and I didn't know what they were. I wasn't familiar with them. Did my research, came back, fell in love with them. They're diverse, they're fast growing, they're evergreen, they're aromatic, there's color in their bark and foliage, disease, drought resistant. Why not? They just make sense in the landscape. Southern Eucs, we have 5,000 trees in propagation for just 2020 alone. But no, it's literally 3 people. It's myself, and it is Patty and Kevin Stewart, who do a lot of the growing and shipping for me. But it's a small operation. We do everything by hand. And when the seeds come in, they come in mixed with chaff. They have to be separated. They're so small, we have to hand plant individual seeds in trays. Some of the seeds have to be cold stratified, which means putting them in the refrigerator for up to 6 weeks, keeping them evenly moist before they get ready to seed out. And then it's just a matter of keeping up from quarts to gallons to 3 gallons to 15 gallons. They're fast growing trees, so if you get behind as far as potting up, you're going behind. We needed to see what these trees would do in various USDA hardiness zones. So we planted them throughout Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, went as high as Delaware. Actually sent some to a customer in Poland. But we wanted to get as much information on these trees as we could. So we planted tree after tree after tree after tree. We needed to see what this tree would do in various zones. A lot of the trees that we thought would be cold hardy didn't make it. Some of the trees that the experts said wouldn't make it here have done extremely well. We have 15 species of trees available. Those trials let us determine which are the best 15 trees. So any tree you see here in the nursery, any tree you see online at southerneucs.com is a tree that's been trialed a minimum of 5 years. Trials never stop. We just entered into a large-scale trial with North Carolina State University and the Association of Specialty Flower Growers. All the plants are being observed specifically for foliage. The Association of Specialty Flower Growers is all about foliage. Eucalyptus are real hot in birthdays and wreaths and weddings right now. So they want something new. They want the next great thing. So actually 2 of our plants have been nominated for their plant of the year. So the trials have gone very well. They continue to go very well. I love everything about the plant. I love the look. I love the fact that it offers a blue and a certain color that you can't find. That's hard to find in other plants. I love the trunk. I love the exfoliating bark. I'm a big fan of trees and plants that do things all year long. They're evergreen, but they'll also color up. So in the fall, you're gonna get some nice wine and rosé colors in the leaves. You know, they're not a Bradford pear. They're not a straight up perpendicular perfect tree. They're a tree with lots of character. So if you're looking for a tree, a plant with great character, eucalyptus is the perfect plant. You probably shouldn't just pick one. You should probably pick 15 if you can't decide. But if you can't pick 15, if your budget won't allow it, start with the basics. Start with how tall can that tree get? And that's with any plant, whatever you're planting. I tell that to clients that I'm doing design work and everything. If you have a space that's 3 feet wide and 8 feet high, don't put a plant there that's going to be 5 foot wide. So look at your eventual height that you have for that eucalyptus. You can coppice trees. You can keep them in their size. You can keep them in a pot. But I would really say, look at the size of the area you have. After that, look for the region. All of our trees have notes for what hardiness zone they do well in dry conditions, wet conditions, windy, salty. Then after that, it's all about leaf form, fragrance, the kind of bark that you want. But you really can't go wrong with any of this. For the gardener with a black thumb, no, eucalyptus is a great place to start. Again, disease resistant, drought resistant. These trees do well in their native land, which is hot, dry, and infertile soils. So if it's hot where you are, if it's dry where you are, if the ground is wet, if your soils are infertile, I mean, that's kind of walking the gamut of what's bad for a plant, and eucalyptuses will thrive in those conditions. Seeds for eucalyptus and where seeds come from is extremely important. The Conventional wisdom is seed gathered from colder areas will produce colder. Our sources that provide all of our seed for southern Eucs come from the regions where those trees are growing on windy outcrops and where snow falls. Whenever you pick up a eucalyptus, like maybe an unnamed variety or a generic variety from the box stores, I can pretty much guarantee that seed is not sourced from the coldest regions of the world. Sourcing the seed from the coldest regions of the world is extremely important. That's what we do. You mean like Funky Monkey and Cab Sav and Jersey Girl and Skinny Mini? Again, we can't propagate the trees from cuttings, so we have to get seed, and that's a great thing because we source our seed from the coldest regions. Again, something that we do, no one else does. So we can't patent our trees, but we trademark them. So it's just a little protection for when someone goes into a quote-unquote box store and they pick up a eucalyptus and they think they're getting a southern Euc. Well, they're not. It just lets folks know it's a southern Euc when they see those names. As far as just having eucalyptus in your home, boy, you're introducing lemons, you're introducing cinnamon, you're introducing, of course, peppermint. You're just lots of sweet, lots of fresh, clean, crisp fragrances. Oh my gosh, it runs the gamut from mouthwashes to soaps to detergents to air fresheners, anything that's antibacterial, antifungal, anti-inflammatory. You can bet that eucalyptus oils are our main component of those products. Look throughout the site. There's lots of our trees that will finish anywhere from 12 feet to 25 feet that are wonderful neighbors as far as other plants. They're not going to take all that water. We underplant constantly around the places. We plant everything from azaleas to ferns to grass. They're good neighbors. Eucalyptus are the most dominant farmed hardwood tree in the world. It grows fast, it's a hardwood tree with very few knots. It's also used in pulp production and biofuels, but when we grow cold hardy southern Eucs for the homeowner, we grow them for the avid gardener, we grow them for the landscape, for the municipality. Anywhere where someone wants a fast-growing, evergreen, disease, drought-tolerant, resistant tree, interesting bark. But the biggest area we've seen probably in gains is in the floral industry. We just finished the trials with the Association of Specialty Cut Flower Growers. The trials have gone well. They love our trees. I've nominated them actually for 2 awards for Plant of the Year. What they're telling us is wreaths, bouquets, anything wedding for folks in the hospital, that eucalyptus are hot right now. Just in 2020 alone, we're introducing, again, back to the names, we're introducing Snow Day and Skinny Mini. Snow Day because it's a snow gum, one of the more cold hardy eucalyptus trees. Beautiful tree that finishes at about 12 feet. That's pretty amazing for eucalyptuses. Most people know eucalyptuses to be 50, 60, 70 foot tall trees. But we've had great luck with that, especially even in high heat, high humidity areas. Skinny Mini is another small one, obviously with thin, narrow leaves, that we love. It's a tree that finishes at about 10 to 12 feet tall, but also can be turned into a hedgerow or a small shrub. So 2 great trees we've trialed for the last 5 years, and we've just introduced them in 2020. There's over 700 species of eucalyptus, and I'm not going to tell you all 700 are cold hardy. They're not. But our 15 trees have all held up to single digits in our trials in different places. We get information back from all of our trialers as far as the tree did better here, did great here. You know, what we do know is, again, it's a fast-growing tree. It's disease and drought resistant. Doesn't take a lot of water. Will do well in the south. The 15 trees that we've chosen all have different attributes. Some are small. Some will finish at 60 feet. Some will finish at 16 feet. Some have large foliage. Some have small foliage. Most people only know like the silver dollar or the baby blue eucalyptus, but we've proved that the species is diverse and there's so much more to offer.